You're listening to Rolling Recklessly, the podcast where dice hit the floor, paint gets spilled, and no game ever goes exactly as planned. I'm Grizzly, and here we dive headfirst into Warhammer, tabletop gaming, and the beautiful mess that is the hobby life. From epic crits to absolute disasters, we'll cover it all. So grab your minis, roll with me, and let's get reckless. Welcome back to Rolling Recklessly, the podcast where we dive into all things Warhammer Age of Sigmar, from lore and tabletop strategy to the hobby desk and community events. I'm your host, Grizzly, and man, what a couple of weeks it's been for Age of Sigmar fans. We've got brand new Battleforce boxes on the horizon, a dark new Warhammer Quest set called Darkwater, and on the home front, our local community at J&J Gaming Factory is gearing up towards our first ever Spearhead League, with Learn to Play nights kicking off for the next 2 weeks. Between all these new releases, hobby progress, and local excitement, it feels like the mortal realms are absolutely alive right now. Now, if you're like me, you've probably seen the previews making their rounds from AOS Coach, Party at the All Points, and the Honest Wargamer, and all the other great folks in the Age of Sigmar community. Between YouTube breakdowns, Discord chatter, and Reddit threads, everyone's got an opinion on which Battleforce box is the best value and what's the new Warhammer Quest might mean for the lore. I love seeing the hype build across the community. It's kind of like the buzz that keeps the game growing and bringing in new players. And of course, all this new energy's had me deep in the hobby myself. I've been elbows deep in sprues and gluing and finishing my Gloomspite Gitz and Seraphon. Seeing these new previews just adds even more fuel to the fire. So in this episode, we're going to cover it all, from the new Battleforce boxes and which one stands out for collectors and new players alike, the mysterious new Warhammer Quest Darkwater, and what it means for the future of the narrative in gaming, and full update on the local hobby scene, including our upcoming Spearhead League and what everyone's been building and painting lately. So grab your dice, clear some space on your painting table, and let's jump into what might be just one of the most exciting weeks we've had in Age of Sigmar in a long time. Alright, let's talk about the big one, the new Age of Sigmar Battleforce boxes for 2025. Games Workshop just dropped the preview, and I've got to say, this is a seriously strong lineup. We've got Skaven, Sylvaneth, Soulblight Gravelords, and Gloomspite Gitz. 4 very different armies, all with great flavor, cool model variety, and some of the best box theming that we've seen in years. I've been following all the coverage from AOS Coach, the Honest Wargamer, and Party at the All Points, and all the chatter across Reddit, and opinions are flying in every direction. But overall, this is a solid year for Battleforces. So let's break down each box, talk about what's inside, and I'll share my honest thoughts on whose is the best for what, and whether you're a veteran player or someone new looking for your first army. First up, we have the Skaven Scryer Warp Swarm. This is one for all the mad scientists out there. You get an Arch Warlock, 20 Storm Vermin, and a Rattling Warp Blaster, 3 Warplock Jezzails, 5 Acolyte Globadiers, and a Warspark Weapons Battery. That can be built as either the Warpvolt Scourger, Rattling Guns, or Warpfire Throwers. It's pure chaos. Lightning, smoke, gas, and plenty of explosions. This box leans heavily into the Clan Scryer theme, and honestly, I really like it. It's fantastic for anyone looking to dive into Skaven or really push into the Scryer playstyle, mixing ranged firepower, wild unpredictable mechanics. For new players, it's a great way to start an army with a strong variety right out of the gate. For veterans, it's just good reinforcements, especially if you're building up a serious gun line. Next up, we've got the Sylvaneth Outcast Spike Grove box. Inside you're getting Drycha Hamadryth, a Spirited Dirthu, which can also be built as a Tree Lord or Tree Lord Ancient, 15 Spite Revenants, and 20 Dryads. It's a strong thematic collection that focuses on the darker side of Sylvaneth, the outcast who follow Drycha's vengeful call. Now I'll be honest, as a Sylvaneth player, this one's a bit of a mixed bag for me. It's a cool box for anyone new to the army, but for existing players, it feels a little recycled. It's almost identical to their last Battleforce, and all of these kits are pretty widely available already. The absence of Kurnoth Hunters, easily one of the army's signature units, makes it feel like a bit of a miss. Honestly, it's almost like Games Workshop is cleaning out their old sprue inventory. Still, if you don't already own these models, it's a great starting point, and Drycha and Dirthu are still beautiful centerpiece sculpts. Now, for my personal favorite of the lineup, the Soulblight Gravelords, Lances of the Crimson Keep. This box comes packed with Prince Vordry on his monstrous Revenant Draconeth, 10 Blood Knights, and 3 Fellbats. It's sleek, deadly, and pure Soulblight from the top to bottom. An elite vampire cavalry force ready to dominate the table. Gameplay-wise, it's incredibly strong. Blood Knights are fast, durable, and hit like a truck. Prince Vordry himself is an absolute beast, both in rules and in model presence. This box is perfect for anyone looking to start a compact but powerful death army. And it's also great value, since all 3 kits are highly desirable just on their own. For me, this one's a no-brainer. My friend Nova, who's the Kill Team ambassador at J&J Gaming Factory, recently traded me a fully built and painted Soulblight Spearhead. Between that and my Cursed Cities models, and this Battleforce, this should really round out the army perfectly. The theme, the models, the value, everything about it just clicks. If you're thinking about starting Soulblight, this is one to get. Finally, we've got the Gloomspite Gitz Dankhold Rampage. This box is for all the fans of big, lumbering monsters and cave-dwelling chaos. Inside, you get Trog, the Troggoth King, a Dankhold Trogboss, 6 Raka Troggoths, and 3 Fellwater Troggoths. It's a full-on Trog bash, and easily one of the most visually striking boxes this year. This one is an absolute blast. It's perfect for players who want to learn the Troggoth side of the Gitz. Big, durable units with brute melee damage and hilarious personalities. I've built my Gitz army around the Git Mob and Squig theme, but this box really tempts me to branch out. The models are chunky, full of character, and Trog himself is one of the coolest centerpiece Games Workshop has released in recent memory. From a painting standpoint, these kits are a joy. Tons of texture, big surfaces, and lots of room for creativity. So, looking at the full lineup, Soulblight Gravelords is my personal favorite top pick. Best value, best models, and just dripping with theme. Gloomspite Gitz comes in a close second, pure fun and hobby freedom. Skaven is a fantastic launch point or expansion for anyone into the clan scry or insane contraptions. And then last up, we have Sylvaneth. Well, they look great as always, but this year's box is a little disappointing if you're already deep into the army like I am. Overall, this is a set of strong releases. Each box nails its faction's identity, and it's awesome seeing that kind of variety. From vampire lords to sentient trees to mushroom monsters, whether you're starting fresh or just adding to your shelves, there's something here to get excited about. And I can't wait to see which ones are starting popping up at our local Spearhead League in the coming weeks. Alright, next up, let's talk about something I'm seriously hyped for. The brand new Warhammer Quest Darkwater. We've only gotten a teaser so far, just the title, some eerie artwork, and a few hints from the Warhammer community. But even from that single image, it's gotten my attention. The box art shows this haunting, mist-shrouded landscape, ancient ruins half swallowed by swamp and rot, and tone is unmistakable Nurgle. Even though nothing's confirmed yet, there's a lot you can pick out if you look closely. On the cover, you can clearly see that the shapes look like pestigores, those beast-like followers of Nurgle we haven't seen in model form for a while. There's also putrid Blight Kings, a robed sorcerer type figure in the background, maybe a Poxbringer or even a new mortal magister of Nurgle, and 2 hulking figures on either side that could be either maybe Plague Ogres, Blighted Troggoths, or something brand new. The cover isn't clear, probably on purpose, and that's what makes the mystery so fun and exciting. I haven't played Cursed City yet. I've assembled it and I am building a copy as well for J&J, but it's one of those boxes I've always wanted to try. That mix of co-op, dungeon crawling, grim storytelling, and incredible models made it a fan favorite. Darkwater feels like a spiritual successor to that, but instead of gothic vampire city of Ulfenkarn, we're venturing deep into Ghyran, the realm of life, and that's Alario's realm. And if Nurgle's the main antagonist here, it's a perfect stage for another clash between decay and renewal, rot versus regrowth. Those two forces have been intertwined since the earliest days of Age of Sigmar's lore. Now I'll be honest, the heroes on the cover don't exactly scream must buy yet. They look a bit plain, maybe a free guild mercenary, a potential elf with some kind of water magic, a Dwarden, and another soldier. That said, we've seen Games Workshop hold back hero reveals in the past, so I'm hoping the actual sculpts give us some more personality when the full lineup drops. Because if Nurgle's bringing their A-game on the villain side, the heroes will need just as much character to balance it out. As someone who already collects and plays Maggotkin of Nurgle, this box hits close to home. The possibility of new Nurgle demon units, updated Blight Kings, or even a brand new Great and Clean One variant has me genuinely excited. It's been way too long since Nurgle got a big spotlight moment in the narrative, and I've been waiting for that 4th edition Battletome announcement. My hope, and I know that I'm not alone in this, is that Darkwater sets the stage for that. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see it released alongside a new Sylvaneth Battletome, since both factions have always been narratively tied together in their endless war across Ghyran. What really intrigues me is how Darkwater could hint at where the next phase of Age of Sigmar's lore is heading. If this box dives into the corruption spreading through Ghyran's waterways or the infections of Enlariel's sacred groves, that could be the opening act of a much bigger campaign. Imagine a new narrative season built around the cycle of corruption, breaking through the realm of life. Nurgle seeding rot where nature once thrived, while Sylvaneth fight to reclaim the land. That would make for an incredible story arc both in lore and on the tabletop. From the little we've seen in Darkwater, It looks like it's going to bring back that dark fantasy tone that makes the mortal realms feel alive, or in this case, festering. It's a return to atmosphere and story, and if the models live up to the art, it's going to be a must-have box. I'll definitely be grabbing this one when it drops, and you can bet that I'll be breaking it down here once we know more about the units inside and what it means for the future of Nurgle in 4th edition. But what about you? What do you think is hiding in the shadows of Darkwater? Are you hoping for new Pestigors, Blight Kings, or something totally unexpected? Let me know your theories over on Instagram at rolling_recklessly_podcast, or hop into the community Discord and join the conversation. I'd love to hear your predictions and see what everyone's hoping to see come to life from this brand new box. Alright, let's shift gears and talk hobby, because honestly, it's been a busy couple of weeks on the workbench and around the local community. On my side, I'm finally wrapping up building every last one of my Gloomspite Gitz units, and the Mangler Squigs are built and ready for battle. And right after that, I finished assembling Lord Kroak and my last unit in the Aggradon Lancers for my Seraphon army. At this point, I'm down to just 2 units of Raptidon Chargers and Hunters, and once those are done, both of my armies will be fully assembled. It feels great to finally see everything coming together. I still have to prime and paint most of it, but honestly, getting everything built is half the battle. There's something that's really satisfying about looking over your hobby desk and seeing rows of finished models waiting for paint. It's progress you can actually see. Over at the J&J Gaming Factory, the hobby scene has been just as active. My friend Zach recently picked up his first Slaves to Darkness Spearhead, and in the last week he's already assembled the entire box along with Archeon the Everchosen. He's also grabbed Bellicor, who's still waiting in the build queue, and that's definitely one of those kits you want to take your time with. My buddy Eric joined too after my sister, his girlfriend, got him a Flesh Eater Cord Spearhead, and he's already built Usharan, the Carrion King. They started grabbing up a few other units to round out his army. It's awesome seeing the group grow and seeing people putting together their first full force. That's the kind of momentum that builds a real community energy. And speaking of community energy, I've got to give a huge shout out to everyone who's been coming out to our paint nights at J&J on Tuesdays. The turnout's been fantastic. Tables full, brushes moving, people sharing tips, trading paints, and just hanging out and having fun. It's exactly the kind of atmosphere that keeps the hobby alive. I'm beyond excited to start folding these same nights into our Warhammer schedule, turning Tuesday evenings into our dedicated day for both paint and play, and soon our Spearhead League. We're looking at officially kicking off the league in about 3 weeks, right after our upcoming Learn to Play Spearhead sessions wrap up. The goal is to have one consistent night where new and veteran players can both show up, hobby, and play. No pressure, no strict tournament vibes, just games, learning, and a shared love for the mortal realms. I really want Tuesdays to become that anchor point for the community, a place where people can walk in, find a table, and know they'll have someone ready to roll the dice, paint models, or just talk some Warhammer. It's been really amazing watching the local AOS crowd grow, seeing fresh armies, hearing people get excited about lore and model releases, and watching more folks discover what makes the game special. That's why I love doing this podcast, because all of it ties together: the hobby, the game, the friendships, and it's what makes Warhammer more than just a tabletop system. It becomes a shared creative outlet, and that's what we're building here at J&J every single week. So if you've been thinking about dusting off your paints or finally assembling that army that's been sitting on your shelf, now's the time. Come hang out with us on Tuesday nights and meet some great people and get rolling in the mortal realms with us. Alright, let's talk about something I've been really looking forward to: our upcoming Spearhead League at J&J Gaming Factory. This is something I've been working on behind the scenes for a while now as Age of Sigmar ambassador, and seeing it start to come together feels awesome. This goal is the league is simple: to give new and veteran players a consistent and friendly space to play games, learn the 4th edition rules, and grow their armies week by week. We'll be running it over 6 weeks, with each week representing new chapters in our little narrative arc, set across the mortal realms, culminating in a big finale event for week 6. Players will log up to 3 matches per week, and the focus will stay on fun, creativity, and community, and not hardcore competition. Tuesday nights are officially becoming our Warhammer night at J&J. Paint, play, and now league play all rolled into one, so whether you're bringing brushes, dice, or both, there'll be a table for you. If you've been joining us for our paint nights, this will be a perfect next step. Grab your freshly painted models, and put them on the table and start rolling. As for prizes, I'm keeping things flexible until final approval from the store. But I want this league to celebrate every part of the hobby, not just win-loss record. So we'll be looking forward to prizes for most points overall for the player who comes out on top after the full 6 weeks. Best painted army, because nothing beats seeing someone bringing their creativity to life. Best lore and narrative theme, for those who go the extra mile weaving story into their games. And best sportsmanship, or favorite person to play against, because great games are about great company. The idea here is to reward effort, enthusiasm, and engagement in all forms. Whether you're crushing objectives, painting your first full army, or just bringing good vibes to every match, there'll be recognition in it for you. We're aiming to kick off the league within roughly 3 weeks, right after our Learn to Play Spearhead sessions wrap up. Once everything is finalized, I'll have a full sign-up sheet and info packet ready in store and posted across all social media channels. I can't wait to see everyone's armies on the tables and start sharing some of the stories that comes out of these games, because that's what this league is all about, building the community one game at a time. And if you're local to Glendale, Arizona, come and hang out with us at J&J Gaming Factory. Whether you're brand new to Warhammer or you've been playing since Old World, we'd love to have you. Bring your dice, your pains, or just your curiosity. Everyone's welcome, and it's a perfect time to jump in and to be part of something fun. And that's going to wrap up this episode of Rolling Recklessly. Between the new Battleforce boxes, the tease of Warhammer Quest Darkwater, and everything happening in our local hobby scene, it's honestly one of the most exciting times to be part of the Mortal Realms. There's something special about seeing this game grow, and not just through new models and rules, but through the people who show up, paint, play, and share their passion week after week. I want to take a moment to sincerely thank every single one of you. Everyone who listens to the show, shares it with a friend, joins a paint night, or just stops by the table to chat. You're the reason Rolling Recklessly keeps growing, and I'm beyond grateful for it. Seeing this little community expand, both locally at J&J and online, means the world to me. So whether you've been here since episode 1 or you're just tuning in for the first time, thank you for being a part of this journey. If you haven't already, make sure you follow Rolling Recklessly on Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. That's where I post new episode drops, hobby progress, and event updates. Also, don't forget our Discord is open to everyone. It's a perfect place to hang out, share your projects, talk lore, and find someone to roll some dice with. The next episode we'll be diving into is after the Soul Wars, the fallout, power shifts, and how those events shaped Age of Sigmar as we know today. There's a ton of lore to unpack, and I can't wait to explore it with you. Until next time, thank you all again for listening and being part of the Rolling Recklessly community. And as always, may your crits be high, your paint never dry, and your rolls ever reckless.